In this video, we'll show you the 3-thread overlock narrow. This stitch is most commonly used as a seam finish and a hem finish because it provides a professional appearance. However, this stitch can also be used decoratively, offering an organic appearance to fashion embellishments and home decor. For example, like the chevron applique on this pillow. This stitch consists of 2 looper threads and 1 needle thread. This red thread is the upper looper. This yellow thread is the lower looper. And this green one is the needle thread. Now let's thread the machine for the basic 3-thread overlock stitch narrow. So we're going to thread for the 3-thread overlock narrow, which means we only need 1 needle thread and our 2 looper threads, the upper and lower looper. I'm going to use this green needle thread, which is my right-hand needle. I'm going to completely remove this left-hand needle, which I used on a 4-thread stitch. I can't just leave it in the machine though and leave it unthreaded. I need to take it out because if I leave it in, the machine is still going to think it's trying to do a 4-thread stitch, and without that thread being in there, you're going to have a very loose upper looper thread. It's really easy to remove a needle, and you're going to use this small screwdriver that came with your machine's accessories. Just lightly place a finger behind them to kind of help hold them as you bring the end of the screwdriver into this upper screw. This is for the left-hand needle, so it's got an L next to it. Loosen that screw, and then grab the needle and pull it down and remove it. Now we're ready to thread the machine for our 3-thread stitch. Now raise the presser foot lifter and open the front cover. To do so, just place your thumb here, push to the right, and pull forward. To prepare for threading the 3-thread stitch narrow, raise your thread mast as far as it will go, and place your spools on your spool holders behind the machine. Because we're only using 1 needle, we'll set our thread here on this position. We're going to start with the upper looper thread. You're going to bring it up through your thread mast and then hold the thread and snap it from right to left into this thread guide, and then bring the thread down through this tension disc and down through the channel. Inside the looper area is a little chart that shows you how to thread the machine, all color coded. So starting with the red one, we're bringing the thread down through this channel. We're going to thread from right to left into this first guide that's marked with a red dot. Now we're going to thread it into this one, and it just pops in kind of from bottom to top. Just pull it up into that guide. And then there's another guide. The next one is here, so we'll just pop that in like so. And the next thing we're going to do now is thread the eye of the upper looper. Now thread the eye of the upper looper, and it's usually helpful to use your tweezer to grab a hold of the end of that thread and bring it around to the back. And there you are, you've threaded your upper looper. Next we'll thread the lower looper. So we'll take that thread, bring it up through the thread mast, snap it into this guide at the top of the machine from right to left, and then bring it down through the tension disc and through the channel. The lower looper thread goes into this guide here, this gold one. And now we're going to bring it over into this next guide, and you can just slip it in from behind. And then from bottom to top into this next one, and then we'll slip it into this guide as well. Next, you want to place your thread into the eye of the lower looper, and then grab the thread end and bring that toward you. Use your tweezer to bring this thread now over. There's another thread guide over here you can see with yellow. And there are these 2 little arms that thread gets staged into. And then as you continue holding the thread, putting a little tension on it with your right hand, place your finger under this guide and push it all the way up, and it will thread your lower looper. Now place your lower looper thread over the upper looper thread. You can just check that to make sure this gold one is over the top of the red one. You don't want it going underneath, because if it is, your machine won't sew properly. You want to make sure that gold one lays over the top of the red one. And finally, we're going to do the right needle, and that is our green thread. Bring it through the guide at the top, snap it in, bring it into the tension discs and down the channel. Then bring it down through this guide, across, and then up over the top of this U-turn area that will actually get your thread into the take-up lever, down, and then around this thread guide just above the needle. Thread the eye of the needle and use your tweezers to grab the end of it and pull it out toward the back, and then place the thread underneath the presser foot, and we're ready to test our stitch. Place your fabric in front of the presser foot, lower the presser foot, and step on the foot control to start sewing. The knife will trim away the excess seam allowance as we sew. There's our beautiful 3-thread overlock. For more information about sewing with an overlock machine, or for information about optional accessories that are available for your machine, visit the Serger website.